Hey guys, welcome back. Today in this video I'm going to show you guys how to field strip a typical AK-47 and then reassemble it, and I'll show you some tips and tricks that can help you along the way. So stay tuned. Here we have an AK-47. This is a Century Arms RAS47. You can pick these up anywhere between typically around 5 to 700 in this configuration. You can get one with the Magpul stock in the Magpul handguards, but of course that's going to cost you a little bit more. This one looks like the typical AK that you see in all the movies, video games, you know. I've put about 200 rounds through it so far. I've never had any misfeeds, failure to fires, no stovepipes, nothing. I haven't run into any problems with it at all so far, so for the price, you can't beat it. It's a great weapon. Now, to start to disassemble, alright, here's the receiver. This is your safety selector. You have safe and fire. Right now it's on fire. Now you'll be able to pull the bolt back. And you see it's empty. And on this safety selector, there's a cutout right here, and that's to catch the bolt. It's kind of like a bolt catch on an AR-15. So you pull the bolt back, and then line it up in that cutout, and now it's just like a bolt catch on an AR-15. And now to release it, you just flip the safety selector down to fire, and that will release the bolt. Now to start the disassembly, you're going to start with this push button. You're going to push this button in and pull up on this cover at the same time. So you're going to push the button in, pull up, and this will release the dust cover. Put that to the side, and here you can see your main spring. And to get this out, you're going to push that same button that we did in the previous step. You're going to push that forward and come out. This button sits in between these rails, right in there. So pull this out, comes right out, and then to take your bolt out, just slide your bolt back, and you'll hear it click out, and just pull it out. It's as simple as that. There's nothing holding the bolt in, other than when I reassemble, I'll show you, it rides in these rails. And pretty much there's only one last part, and for this part, on some AKs it's looser than others, but if you can see, there's a lever here, and you have to push this lever up, and this releases the gas tube. So since mine's pretty stiff, I went out and just got a punch and a hammer. So what you're going to do is put your punch on this lever and then just hit it with a hammer. Okay, here I'm just going to hit that lever with my hammer, give it a few good taps. And there you go. You can see where this lever has a little dimple on one side, if it will focus. Anyway, it has a dimple on there, and that dimple sits in this little cutout, and that's what makes it so hard to get out. But once the lever is up, just pull up on the gas tube, and it comes right out. So there you have it, guys. There is a AK-47 field stripped. It's as simple as that, nothing too complicated. The hardest part now is, what I found, is putting it back together. Taking it apart, I found, is always easier than reassembling. So when I reassemble this, I'll show you some tips and tricks to help you out. Alright, to reassemble, we're pretty much going to go right in reverse. You're going to start with your gas tube. You're going to put the front end, the part closest towards the muzzle. You're going to put this part on first. Make sure that lever isn't in the way. And then once the front end is on, just slide it down into place and then push your lever down as hard as you can. If it doesn't want to go back in place, just give it a few love taps with the hammer. And there you go. The lever is back seated nice and the gas tube is nice and secure. Alright, for the next part, we're going to put the bolt in. And the trick to putting the bolt in is, as you can see, the bolt can move up and down. And you can take the bolt out. Forgot that part, but it's just simple. It comes right out. And to put it back in, now you see these grooves in here. This part of the bolt that is closest to the extractor will slide in, facing you, and then you're going to twist it clockwise. So you see it falls right into that groove and you're going to push it up. Now you're going to want to hold the bolt in place just like this. And now to reinstall the bolt, you're going to put it right in the hole, let it slide forward a little bit, still holding that bolt forward. And now here's the part that's a little tricky. As you can see, there's grooves. There's like a rail in the receiver, and there's a rail on the bolt. So you're going to push the bolt down and then slide it forward. And now those rails are holding the bolt in. You see I can't pull it up anymore. So once again, you're going to push down and then forward. And now the bolt is in. Slide it forward. And that's it for the bolt. Next is your recoil spring. You're going to put the spring in the hole, slide it forward, and now when you're putting in the rear of the spring, you're going to push it forward until it can slide into those rails, and then let it slide back, just like that. So I'll show you from a different view. You're going to push it forward, get it in between those rails, and then just slide it back. And now that recoil spring is in there good. Now for the final step, and what a lot of people struggle with, is this dust cover. And the trick to this is, there's a groove around where the spring sits. And the trick is to get the tip of this cover into that groove. So we're going to put the cover on. This is the trick that I found easiest. Just set the cover on there. Okay, you see what it looks like from the back. The button isn't in the hole yet or anything. And we're going to push this cover forward until the tip of it is in that groove. Once it's in that groove, push the rear of the cover down. And now you can see that it's seated. I'll show you that again. Alright, up here, we're going to push it in till it's in that groove, and then push the rear down. I'll see if I can go lower to show it. We're going to push that into the groove, and then push down. And that will set the button in. And now just do a quick functions check. Alright, it's all good. Put it on safe, and now you're ready to go. Alright guys, there you have it. That was an AK-47 disassembly, field strip, and reassembly. Pretty simple. I hope you learned something. A few tips and tricks that I found that made it easier. Because the first time I tried this, I had a really hard time getting that cover back on. I watched plenty of videos and no one told me that trick. So I figured it out on my own and figured I could help you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this, please subscribe, helps me out a lot, and stay tuned for more content. Alright guys, bye.